Hey, how you doing today? What is your name?
Rina Shah.
Rina Shah, what are you here to do? Like this, we're here for a luncheon today. Tell me more about the luncheon. I know you traveled. What is your purpose for coming today?
Absolutely, I'm really happy to be here in South Florida. First of all, here in Tampa for the Republican National Convention, and I'm a political strategist based in Washington, D.C. I've been at this for less than 2 years now, and I'm really enjoying myself. I'm down here to meet new candidates who are looking to run for elected office in various parts of the country, and to also meet my current clients. I advise on a number of congressional races, all Republican across the U.S.
Okay, tell me more about your job title. You were saying you're a political strategist. What does that entail, and how do you offer information to help other people, I guess?
Sure. I was on Capitol Hill for a few years, and I worked for 2 different members of Congress, and I would say that's really where I built up my knowledge of how government works and how really the machine operates when it comes to our federal government. And so when I'm looking to connect with candidates in various parts of the country who are seeking elected office of really any type, you know, they could be looking in the House or they could be looking in the Senate, I really connect them with what they might need to, just really where they need to begin and what they might need to do to win. And what they might need to do, well, I say that because oftentimes these candidates already have big teams.
Sure.
And so I can wear a number of hats. I help structure campaigns. I've advised on them in a number of capacities on political fundraising, for example, but I really try to focus on political communications, which is setting up a rigorous social media operation, getting them earned media, which is newspaper, radio, TV, blog, setting up those interviews for them, and also just giving them talking points, drafting op-eds for them, and press releases as well.
Okay, so you're kind of like a marketing expert, I guess, but for the political aspect. Would that
certainly
be correct?
I would say that a lot of what I do is political branding, and it's
Sure.
branding the candidate, and I think it's just vital in today's day and age. We just really need to have a candidate who knows what they stand for and is able to convey that thing to the public. So oftentimes you have somebody who's running because they believe in that, they believe in themselves, they believe they know what's best for the area, for the country, whatever it is, but they just might not know how to take that message out to the constituents, those people who would show up on election day and check their name on the box.
Sure. And how did you get involved into, why did you want to go in this direction in the first place? Because you seem very young, so like what made you want to get into this initially?
That's a great question. Political involvement has been a part of my life since I was a very young girl. I think I caught the bug very young, and I used to carry around a book. It's What Do You Know About the President? It was a trivia book.
Okay.
When I was 7 years old, my mom told me that I would just not put this book down, and I never thought that I would make a career out of this. I went to college and I studied political science there, but I also was an engineering major. And so as an engineering major who was doing some political science classes, political science was always a hobby for me. It wasn't something that I was going to study and finish a degree in, and I never thought to go work for a member of Congress, even though that had always intrigued me from far away. So it was a series of fortunate events which landed me up in Washington and got me the gigs on Capitol Hill that really helped launch my career to where it is now.
Okay, so do you feel that younger people should get involved into, like, you know, clearly you got involved into politics and other forms of marketing and media, things of that nature. What would you say, because your message is strong, because you're one young person that actually is going forward with their dreams, what would you say for the younger, college kids and things like that? How can they get involved? You have your motivation that you've got involved. What would you say to people to get involved into, with their dreams and things like that?
Sure. No, for me, it was really just finding somebody that I could emulate. And that's interesting that you put it that way. It's from one young person to another. It's not saying do what I do, or it's not even really saying do as I do, but take what I've done and sort of glean from that what you want and what you think fits into your dream and move forward. So if, for example, somebody who's just as interested in politics as I am, just find the things that get you excited every day. Now what I do for a living is really not a job. It's something that I've just been able to take a passion for and convey into a paycheck and translate into a paycheck.
Sure.
So that's been exciting. But for other young people, particularly with this being an election year, if politics is something that you think you could make a paycheck out of at some point, or if it's just something that you feel so passionate about being involved in, find ways to plug up. Our generation has so many opportunities to be involved, to have a seat at the table, and to have your voice heard in the conversation, that it's too important to really not be involved and to step away. And if you think about it, our lives are really controlled and stimulated by the platforms such as Facebook and YouTube and Twitter. these are things that keep the conversation going and really liven them, and essentially really give everybody free access. So if you've got an internet connection, really just don't shy away from being involved in this year, which is a presidential year, and to me, one of the most important years as somebody who's been born and raised in this country and intends to see it prosper over the years in my lifetime.
So one of the things that I'm hearing is for younger people to, if they get involved, they don't have to get involved in, let's say, committees, things of that nature. They can just let their voice be heard on video, on their social networks, you know, the different mediums that they can use that are free.
Certainly.
To you know, let other people know what they're thinking and how to make changes and things like that. Is that what I'm hearing?
That's absolutely it, because it's free. It's entirely free, and it's a really, really quick way to just get involved. You know, committee meetings, going to your local parties, headquarters to maybe stuff envelopes on a weekend. Putting in volunteer hours is great, and we always need more of that. We need people who want to go door to door and knock on behalf of the candidate, and connect with voters and tell them why they should give their vote to somebody. It's beyond that, though. You really can do so much. And if you don't have the time, then these are the free platforms and free opportunities that just don't take much time. And again, you take no money, and that's it. There's a lot more bang for your buck to just get involved in the conversation and make sure your voice is heard, because this is your country, too.
Of course. So, like, for example, like the lunch that's going on today, that we're going to have speakers talking on different subjects. And I noticed there's a lot of kids from USF, from local colleges and things like that. You know, what is your opinion on that? You know, of course, it's it's networking and things like that, and they're helping out. Do you feel that kids, you know, or I say kids, but college, it's not always kids, because sometimes people come into college after a couple of years and things of that nature. Do you feel that, like, what we're doing today as far as with the luncheon, it's a good thing going forward?
I think it's great. We need more opportunities like this. We need more events like this where young people can come and not only volunteer but mingle with people who are probably much older than they are. This is a free luncheon today, sponsored by somebody. Free because it's a generosity of an older individual who has said, I care about everybody just coming and being together in an event like this, coming and beautifying themselves. So all you've got to do is make time in your day to show up, be a part of it, and then say, how do I move forward? How do I connect with people after an event like this? And coming to events like this are perfectly great examples of how we should, as communities of, not only communities of color, but communities of age and maybe even geographical location, can come together and say, where do we move on from here? How do we get together and make sure our voices are heard in maybe greater force? Okay.
Do you want to add anything before we leave today about yourself? Do you want to, like a wrap up?
Sure. So as a political strategist in Washington, D.C., I really enjoyed my past 6 years of growing up in Washington, D.C. is what I call it. I came to Washington right after college, and it was a great time, and it was a great time for me to just move forward in my career and say, I'm going to just come to a town, I'm going to be young, I'm going to work hard and figure out what my life's work is and what the path is in life. And so I would encourage most people, take risks, do things that are maybe out of your comfort zone and not in the norm, and that's what I would just say are my parting words for anybody who is younger than me, perhaps even my peer, and is just reconsidering a career choice or is just looking to do something that excites them, because life is exciting. It's exciting. Every day is a gift, right? So why should we not be doing something we love? And I found my life's passion in taking a risk, so I suggest and recommend to other people, if you can take a risk, always take a risk.
Well, very strong closing, very strong message. Thank you so much.
Such a pleasure.
Okay.